Hello everybody and welcome to this RENATE event, which is one of many being offered during these amazing 2 weeks, organised as a virtual platform by the Commission for the Status of Women and in collaboration with the UN in New York. It is a privilege of mine to introduce to you today RENATE, which is the host for these events that you are invited to join us for each day during these 2 weeks from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock within the exhibition booth of the Good Shepherd Sisters, with whom we are collaborating and honoured to be so. I have the privilege of just introducing who we are, religious and co-workers in Europe, networking against trafficking and exploitation. We are a network in 31 European countries with nearly 350 members. I'd like to share with you a PowerPoint just to give you some illustration of how we operate as a foundation. So here we are, together. This is the key word that we would use. We cannot achieve any of this mighty task on our own. And so it's together with hope that we work tirelessly with our wonderful co-workers as religious in these 31 countries to do our best at every level, aspect, every road we could take to combat human trafficking, whether it be in grassroots work, in advocacy, awareness raising, education, and indeed walking the walk, just watching and looking and seeing, if you like, with the heart and the mind's eye as to the strategies and the ways in which we can even begin to change our manner of mission because of the manner of the work which the perpetrators get into to trap these vulnerable people. So who are we? Yes, we are in 31 European countries. We have massive networks besides our own that we work with. We know that even as a network, we need the statutory, the non-statutory, the volunteers to come on board with us to work in the coalface against this crime. We were founded in 2009 and are committed to ending human trafficking and exploitation in Europe. But inevitably, because of the manner of the corridors and the journeys that the trafficked and survivors take, we are being challenged to understand the cultures right across the world where our people are trafficked from and across countries to Europe. And of course, Europe itself is a continent of destination where many, many victims are being trafficked at source. So throughout its European network, RENATE adopts a victim-centered, human rights, trauma-informed approach in relation to the law, and is under the aegis of Talitha Kum, which is from which we were founded over 10 years ago, when we were at the first international gather of the networks amongst networks of religious working against human trafficking right across the world. And it was there that they sent a mandate out to the few of us from Europe to set up our own network in order that we could be more forceful and strong in collaboration with these many others which were already set up in most continents in the world. So here we are on the map. You can see quite clearly how we spread right across Europe, from the furthest east to the furthest west of Europe. And we work cross borders, we support each other in this work and in many areas of development that we ourselves need to work more consciously and more realistically in the field. Our vision and mission is based on systemic injustice and the need for justice, but from the base systems such as even ecology in the environment, if people have not got water and they have not got work and they have not got education, they are in despair. And it is these people that the trafficked go straight to, the traffickers, to ply their trade in the market of human beings. They indeed respond to the demand with those who have money for cheap goods, cheap labor, cheap services, and they use those who are most vulnerable to even get as near as they can to having those services, cheap, the goods, and the opportunity for work. So we call on the SDGs. We're with the UN in this amazing 2 weeks, and it's with the SDGs that we are, as it were, called alongside all of the calls of the organizations and governments across the world. But in the SDG 8.7, which is based on human rights law, which I'm afraid many other countries in the world don't even truly understand, but the human rights law in 8.7 states to take immediate and effective measures to eradicate forced labor, end modern slavery and human trafficking, and secure the prohibition and elimination of the worst forms of child labor, including recruitment and use of child soldiers, and by 2025, end child labor in all its forms. Only 4 years away. We have to remain hopeful and diligent. We are in COVID times, a time of deep reflection about our beautiful planet, which is so terribly attacked by this lack of human rights and care of people and the world in which the people live, our world. We are saying in COVID times, stop. Look at the devastating economy which is crashing and destroying any sense of dignity for human beings, with the massive widening gap between the rich and the poor. And we're saying, come on board with us this 2 weeks. Come each day. In the events that RENATE is putting on, you will be able to walk the walk with the survivors and the trafficked. You will be able to hear every aspect of the work against human trafficking today. And at the end of the 2 weeks, you will be able to say, yes, I can. I can join these movements. I can make a difference too. I can, together with them, fight the perpetrators of this crime and make a difference. Each one can do this. So I hand you over to our wonderful teams throughout this week who will be presenting the most incredible information and experience. It will be an experience of a journey of the survivors and the trafficked. Thank you very much for listening and enjoy the event. Goodbye.